if that will persist here for Group B, given what we know about the Beat Invitational. But for Full Send, yeah, I got everything right. Darren Neko, certainly a fantastic Zenyatta. Badger is their shot caller and captain. And the guy that's new here for the roster, and I've casted Full Send a few times myself, but the guy that I haven't seen yet is Squala. He's going to be playing the Pharah for them today, and I'm curious to see how he's going to play out, because Sinker is a pretty solid tracer, pretty solid hit scan player in general, but this kind of duo that they've got matched up here, this is something that I haven't seen yet from them in Full Send.
And then now that we will see Jar already opening up with a kill onto Badger. Lucio out of the picture means it will be a 6v5. The Resurrect could be committed, but so far denied by this lineup of Envision, as they will look to get another kill on the board. It will be Buds, however, getting the D-suit. He will secure that kill in the end. McGravy losing his mech, but it seems like it doesn't matter, as Envision taking a convincing first team fight win.
Real quick, real efficient. 40 seconds is all it really takes. I think by the time they actually get it, it's going to be more closer to 45. As they do capture it, and they get that extra time on their time bank, and luckily Chinese covering up a spray that we're not allowed to be seeing at the moment. But as they go forward, they're looking to try to create a little bit more space, and again, Badger's going to be caught out. That's the second time in a row now, and look at how he's gotten his sound barrier up. It's only been just that kind of steady, just persistent ult charge you get over time, and he hasn't really done anything yet because he's been killed off so early every single time.
And look at this aggressive posture coming out of Envision, just denying the defensive side to really get a good hold to rolling, as Jaro gets Badger again, the third time, just seemingly having his numbers so far, as he's gonna finally turn his sights onto the opposing Pharah. In the meantime, though, Iron does retaliate with a kill onto iShiny. However, now Jaro with a triple kill off of the Rocket Barrage will clean it up on that payload, and just like that, it's only Squala desperately trying to run away, will be unsuccessful, and in the end, Envision once again looking unstoppable so far.
There hasn't been anything to help Badger. This poor guy on Lucio is at 32% towards his sound barrier after having not been able to do really anything. He's been dead almost this entire time. And as you're dead, you're not going to be able to get that extra little bit of ult charge. He goes forward, they're surging ahead, they're getting aggressive now, they need anything. And they do have the Valkyrie, so they could potentially keep this momentum or shift it back in their favor if they start losing it. But as this fight continues, and then the fact that they're not getting any kills here, we're going to see a res coming out from Crimzo, and he's safe as he gets it as well. So that's Buds back up into the fight.
And with this man advantage still in favor of Envision, they will get the D-suit onto Iron, as Buds did have that pulse bomb, and now without that D.Va in the mix, it's all too easy for Charge just to rain down those rockets. Palm Rage will be the answer from the side of Anhu, so we'll look to see whether or not those displacements as well as potential environmental kills are going to come through. The answer is no, as Jaru will find Sinker as well, still looking to dish out that damage. Payload not quite moving forward for now, as we'll see the rest of the defensive side contesting. Sound barrier used by both sides respectively, and now Squall looking for an angle, but it's still overall Envision winning it out ever so slightly.
The barrage was available for Jaru, but he doesn't even need it. They're just slowly going to win this fight over time. You see the self-destruct coming out. Everybody should be safe from this. And iShiny does have a reset if they need it. Self-destruct comes out, not going to find anything initially, but it's Jaru taking down the opposing Pharah in the sky, and then continuing that pressure, pushing it forward. They're just cleaning it up, but this has been an excellent stagger so far, I would say, by Full Send. The problem is that once they lose it, and it is just going to be a matter of a couple seconds here, as they do, they're going to have nothing available for the first opening fight in this phase of the map.
Oh, and Buds did go a bit too far forward. Buys loads of self, claims the kill, but gets punished in return. And now we will see some swaps finally coming from the defensive side. However, question is it too late, as that Valkyrie alongside that Barrage and Primal Age will look to potentially close things out here for Envision. They will be pushed away for now. Of course, Squala should have a relatively easy time when it comes to charging up that Riptide, but Crimson now looking to make things happen for his team. Squala though finding the first kill, and now Jaru retaliating with their Rocket Barrage is gonna pick up two. Crimson goes in for the Resurrect onto Buds, and with the man advantage in favor of Envision, they're gonna look to close it out. As said, it is the Primary still being used. Finally secures the kill onto Anhu, and now with that payload being so close to that final objective, we need to see Full Send respond.
Oh, can they even get on the point? They finally do. The fade will allow them to get onto the point. Darren Echo will fall though.
Oh.
And control still in favor of Envision. And as Jaru just barely comes back into the fight. Will help kill off a McCree that would have maybe been able to touch, but that is that. They secure it, and that is a massive time bank to work with.
And things were starting to look a little bit better for Full Send with Iron coming in onto Zarya, already being able to charge up towards that Graviton so fast, but not really able to make sure that they do have those members on the payload. Means that Envision definitely looking poised to take a quick 1-0 here on Eichenwald. And for Full Send, now that you're going to be swapping over sides, you would definitely expect to potentially see Jaro once again on that fair, considering his success overall. And it's been just having Badger's name and just his target, giant target on his back, seemingly, because, what was it? 3 consecutive kills, whatever he was up in those first fights. So unfortunate
this
there.
Is the problem. I mean, this is the problem, right? I mean, you do have some standouts for Full Send. I mean, I would look at Darren as a guy that does kind of stand out as a pretty lethal flex support, which, as we know from Overwatch League, at least in the last meta, that was very important. It did wind up stats-wise becoming kind of a big deal. It does kind of help your team, you know, have a pretty good win-loss ratio when you have the more lethal flex support. But when you're matching up against someone like Crimzo, and yeah, they're not playing the Zenyatta's just yet, but this is to prove a larger point that it's just, you got to give it to Crimzo. I mean, something that everybody's going to be saying later on is that, you know, why is Crimzo not in Overwatch League? It's going to be something that everybody's thinking in a couple months' time when we very likely see this team perform well in contenders as well. He's insane. Crimzo is a monster, undoubtedly. And then you look across the rest of the roster, and it's just a mismatch at every single role. See a nice start, though, coming out from Sinker. And they're going to need picks like this to, again, just kind of alleviate the fact that every role has kind of a mismatch.
And they can keep up that momentum. Things will be looking better and better. However, Resurrect, as said, being there means that Jar will be back in the fight in an instant. Of course, with that positioning not really being a problem. And now we'll see iShiny drop pretty low. However, we'll manage to stay alive for now. Squall looking to go in pretty aggressively with the side of Mercy, but overall, both teams just poking. Sinker will get another kill onto Buds. Really good performance coming out of him.
Well, now we're going to see iShiny somehow staying alive, but will eventually fall. And Full Send off to a good start so far. Need to find this kill onto McGravy, who's backing up now. Jaru going to be under fire by the Diva, but now supported as Crimzo has also not only managed to save the life of his DPS carry in the sky, someone who's going to be able to protect them for some time, but also managed to get the Valkyrie, so they're going to stay alive for now, but that will not last for too long. That will be cleanup for Full Send, and they will take the objective. Very fast time for themselves as well.
This is the interesting thing that I've really noticed when comparing the EU side with the North American side, with this heavy emphasis on the dive composition.
Yep.
Most teams just really definitely shining when it comes to that offensive round rather than the defensive side. But now, Primal Rage will look to displace the opposition for now. Squall does have the barrage ready. Soundbarrier could come out too. But so far, nothing really gained on either side. Jara could retaliate with the ultimate of his own. Will be taken down, however, as Iron finds him in disguise.
Oh, stick onto Shiny. He's going to alleviate some of that damage with the Primal Rage. They're still looking for him a little bit, but he's battering Sinker around. Now looking to try to create some space for Jaru to come back through. Squall, though, is going to be the one with the barrage. As they go ahead and find a kill onto Buds, they're cleaning up the point, and now it's just going to be Envision regrouping now, and Full Send looking quite stellar on the attack.
So far, so good for them, as they will still have that sound barrier available, and with that potential ultimate coming through, Darren Echo should look to charge up that Valkyrie on top, and things are looking pretty good for them. But the answers coming out of the side of Envision could prove to be superior, as it will look to engage. Buds playing pretty aggressively, will manage to find the stick and the kill, making a 6v5, and now Envision should be able to find the kills they need in order to stabilize this defensive hold.
McGravy is very aggressive towards Darren Echo. They back that duo out completely, as Squalla needs to make sure that he can get his Mercy to safe harbor. Now, as they pull back into this fight, they're going to look to try to be very aggressive. Buds is at about 50% towards his next pulse bomb. He used the last one to just deny Anhu, so they just had no ability to create space for their DPS, and that's exactly why you saw the Mercy backing up like that. But now it's iShiny's turn. Can he make this space? Anhu gets aggressive. We see both Winstons using their leaps.
And now Soundbear will be popped from the defensive side. Will it be interesting to know whether or not that will be the answer from Full Send as well, as McGravy is going to be able to find the first kill of the fight onto that Winston once again out of the picture here for this side of Full Send. But the Soundbear will come out, self-destruct, will potentially find the target, a big one at that, as their Echo will go down with the lack of support as well as that front line for Full Send. They will once again be forced to regroup.
And you can see why Envision picked up iShiny to work with McGravy, who did make a swap of his role. Because remember back, he was a DPS player. Now you see him a lot playing the flex tank role. And picking someone up like iShiny to work with him just seems to work out really well. You see McGravy taking a lot of the pressure, and iShiny was kind of low. So he decided, I'm not going to engage and create a problem where, Crimzo is stressing to heal us.
Oh.
I'm going to allow McGravy to take that pressure. I'm not going to jump down just yet. Now Buds, though, popping off in the front line, going through as iShiny jumps in to help secure another kill as well, taking that pressure to Darren Echo once again, and then, of course, solidifying the kill onto Squala on the Pharah. I mean, just the coordination now defensively. This is what we expected to see from Envision.
And the problem here for Full Send is the fact that, considering the distance they still need to cover, with 1 minute and 55 seconds on the clock, even if they commit all those ultimates to get a teamfight win here, this lineup of Envision should be able to regroup at the very least one more time. And now iShiny already getting a kill. It's going to be big. Rocket Barrage will be used, but it's going to be Buds once again fragging out on that Tracer. Looking for more. He gets a triple kill now, as his team is going to be able to once again clean it up. And Envision looking strong, as they didn't even need to commit anything, whereas Full Send overcommit in terms of those support of the ultimates and get nothing for it.
McGravy's going to come back into the fight. He'll have just enough time, too, because otherwise Shiny would have been a little bit in trouble because he wouldn't have had the protection of that defense matrix when they go in. But Buds has really been kind of creating that pressure, creating that chaos in their midline, where Shiny has been able to just jump up and get right in the face of the Pharah Mercy combo up top, and then McGravy just cleans it.
Now we'll see one kill come on top for Full Send here, as Iron will find another onto iShiny. No tanks available for Envision. Could prove to be a bit problematic, but the res is going to come through, and Jaru will manage to find two. Squala answers, but it's going to be once again Envision winning it out on this payload, and with 38 seconds remaining, I just can't see how Full Send can come really back into this one.
So oftentimes you'll see a tank often just making space for their DPS. But the cool thing about Tracer is that you now make space for your tanks. And what that allows them to do is put more pressure onto the Pharah Mercy combo, helping Jaru out so that he can be more active in taking down the tanks. So the mismatch at the rosters don't mean as much as the fact that they're mismatched in terms of the duels they're taking as well.
And Darren Echo just kept out of the fight consistently, as McGravy will find that kill. 6v5 will be big, as the lessened staying power here for Full Send is going to prove problematic. Overtime is going to kick in, but still claiming those kills with iShiny as well. And even though the other side of Full Send did go ahead and use that sound barrier, they will not be able to find the kills they need, and they will eventually lose it out here on Eichenwald.
And overtime ticks 3-1 to Envision to start things off in Group B. And this is the way that we expected it to start, but at least initially, we saw Full Send kind of clicking a little bit, and perhaps they're going to be able to continue that. But here you see Crimzo on the Mercy. I imagine this is just going to be a couple of nice little reses and everything. But here's Quantum McGravy healing up Buds. Nothing lethal at all yet from Crimzo, but as he gets an opportunity to play Zenyatta, I imagine that will change. Oh.
Pulling that pistol out just a little bit, but we will be moving on to a short break, but don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everybody, at the analysis desk. Envision looking great in that first series. I was especially impressed with Jaru. He was looking great on Pharah. And to be honest, Sinker also looked very good on the attacking side on the first point. But as soon as he stopped delivering, it went bad for his team.
And just very impressive play coming out of the side of Envision, as to be expected. I really like the fact that when it comes to the offensive side, as you said, Jaru really stepping up for his team, finding those kills, and Badger got taken out of those fights time and time again. And when it comes to the defensive side, it was Buds who was fragging out, definitely having big plays, and also the team really singling out their Echo to make sure he's out of the fight to start things off.
I mean, their fights on the second point, defense, they were just looking so well. It didn't seem like there was a single opportunity for full send guys to do basically anything. Now, up next is Temple of Anubis, and it does seem that Envision Esports is going to start on defense. What can we expect to see here?
Well, considering the heavy use of Sombra, I'll be interested to see whether or not they will go for it as well. But on the other side here for Fulson, as you said, Sinker already proving that he can definitely be a potential threat coming out of this team. And with the prevalence of Widowmaker being picked on Anubis first point a lot, I think it could potentially come down to whether or not he can go ahead with that particular hero and find the sidelines and the picks his team really needs.
Do you think we could see potentially a third map in this set?
It's looking very unlikely, as much as I would really love to, because if one thing that Group A didn't deliver is a lot of control maps, and I would definitely like to see more of those.
Temple of Anubis is ready. Let's jump right into it.
Starting things off, it looks like we might have a tank comp on our hands. We'll have to see if this actually does play out, but seeing what we've seen so far, I imagine, or I can actually kind of tell you that, you know, as far as scrim partners go, and as far as tendencies go, I imagine Envision, I used to imagine, but now I envision, is definitely going to look a little bit like Fusion University, in that they're definitely going to be playing a lot of dive. iShiny is a fantastic Winston player. Crimzo is going to be pulling out the Sombra here, and I do want to say that the stealth buffs only lasted, you know, a short time. They're not actually live right now, so or stealth changes, I guess. Either way, they're still playing the Sombra. Crimzo going to look to try to manage those health packs for his team, and already Squala taken down quite low, and Sinker will get eliminated by Jaru, just taken down almost immediately.
I believe that was the deflect kill at that too, but the charge is going to come through, secure the kill onto iShiny, so things are not over just yet, as they will try to be grouped up on that point with the side of Roadhog, as he's going to go ahead with the hook, but Buds, look at that, already charging up that pulse bomb, is going to be able to pick up a kill of his own, and it is going to be looking like Envision once again will win out in the end, but Sinker coming back from spawn will at the very least get a kill onto Buds. And as he's still uncontested with these late kills, we might just see this side of Full Send still regrouping.
So they're going to keep going back in, but Crimzo holding on to that EMP, hacking things back in his favor, and holding on to it now. So as they jump back onto the point, Sinker now trying to get away from Jaru if he can, as Jaru's coming back from respawn. Fire's bringing him there, and that's the EMP coming out.
And with that, it secures one kill. However, in the meantime, they retaliate with one of their own. We'll see the Coalescence come through, but Buds, once again, ready to go with that pulse bomb. Could potentially look for a big angle, but doesn't really need to overcommit, as the rest of Full Send will just say, okay, that's going to be it. We should go ahead and regroup instead. And at the very least, moving on forward here, they do have a lot of ultimates banking up. But on the other side, Jaru, if he picks up that blade, could do a lot of work.
Playing a dive comp into a tank comp is all about containment. Can you contain the tanks? And then that really comes down to iShiny. Can he pull this out? They killed him in the first fight, but now they don't here. Control now going to be favoring the defense as Envision gets EMP up ever closer. Now Jaru falls, so they lose the blade, but they're still getting close to their ultimates, and they need them now to swing the fight. And it's not looking like they're going to be able to pull it out.
Especially since Sinker does claim another kill to the side of Crimzo, and now with the whole hog coming through, 2 ticks should be capped onto the point. They do get it in the end. McGravy still answering though, and as the Prime Rage will go through, can these tanks of Envision buy enough time as they will knock the opposition away for a bit? iShiny loses the Prime Rage, the Blade is gonna be available, but the Sound Barrier will be the answer as Envision comes back from spawn and stronger than ever with the MP2, securing those final kills, and they managed to hold at 89.8%.
Beautiful execution. iShiny just battering everybody around, making sure that there isn't going to be any tank coverage for their supports. Pull out Badger's Sound Barrier, and then just have the EMP to instantly counter it out with the Blade to just follow up with. Excellent execution. Looking like it's possible for a first point hold. However, Sinker now has an opportunity. They've got the Infrasight. They've got the Coalescence to go in with. Soon Onwoohoo will also have the Earth Shatter, but at the moment, it's just looking like they're going to go for health pack control again for Envision, just playing off the high ground, falling down now, though.
With the Coalescence being used, McGravy is going to lose that suit, and as a result, the Earth Shatter is going to come through, and these follow-up kills are going to be big for Fulsen as they look to finally get that point capped. Sinker still finding the kills, rather, as well, and they do get it in the end, and I would expect to see Sinker now potentially swap back from that Widowmaker, but no, instead it looks like they're gonna just try and snowball off of that first point take. Sound Barrier will be forced out from the defensive side. Jaro might be able to build up that Blade, while Crimzo should have the MP of his own. Gonna go ahead and use it instantly, and as a result, there will be 2 kills already in favor of Envision as Fire claims another one, and this should be a reset here for Fulsen.
And we're likely to see Sinker swap. And he does indeed. It looks like he's still deciding what he wants to be on at the moment. They were maybe kind of playing with the possibility of a Tracer, but he sticks to the Reaper. Certainly going to be looking at trying to take down Shiny when he can, but I don't know if they know that he has the Primal Rage reset. EMP going to come up pretty soon, 62% already for Crimzo. But definitely watch Sinker on this Reaper, see what he can do to Shiny to try to control this spacing for the rest of his team.
And it might just be also Anhu delivering with a big Earth Shatter to potentially get something done on the point as they will look to engage. They will connect, but only onto McGravy. But in the meantime, it's going to get a kill onto Sinker. Self-destruct will be used, pushing the opposition away, even getting a kill onto Anhu. The return self-destruct is not going to find any kills as McGravy picks up Iron. That meantime, Buds cleans up with another kill of his own. And it will be, once again, Envision Esports holding out strong, and they committed quite a bit in terms of those ultimates, but will have that Blade and EMP once again, and we've seen how deadly that combo can be.
And I don't know if our admins see that, but I think we're calling for a pause at the moment. Yeah. So there we go.
Should, yeah.
I feel like I need to say it, actually have it happen. So I got to say it, and then it happened. But looking at the next fight here, 2:40 on the clock. I mean, we saw a good first point hold by Envision initially, and then, you know, getting that fight there and really kind of drawing it out, really kind of making it last very long, spreading them thin, and then just kind of keeping the fight going when you know you have that advantage. Make sure that you don't allow ticks in the process, but, you know, kind of just spread those fights out when you know you have momentum, when you have control. Just keep that control and make sure that you take more time off the clock, so that, you know, they can't re-engage and have an advantage. You don't want quick fights where you're just gambling every time. You want to make sure that you're holding on to that control whenever you can. So looking at the next one, though, we see that they have not only the EMP, but also the Sound Barrier. They held onto the Blade from Jaru, who before went forward, found the kill onto Sinker's Widowmaker, and then kind of developed it from there. After Sinker came and made the swap, they weren't really able to get into the point, Runge. I mean, when they tried to, we saw McGravy just countering out the Earth Shatter, and right after it, he just put down a self-destruct that they couldn't really do anything about. So they were forced to back up into the cave or allow Onwoohoo's barrier to just completely go down. But they found kills anyways and just held that control from there.
And even Buds somehow in that engage fighting Sinker pretty early on, as we already see him charge up 26% so far towards that Death Blossom. And it seems like hopefully everything is sorted out now. But again, considering the resource advantage with those ultimates in favor of Envision, as well as the fact that they are on the last point defensive hold now, I should consider dumb favorite coming into this next team fight. But there in Echo, good to go with the Coalescence hook. It's going to be potentially really good, as they will look to decent. McGravy will be unsuccessful. But once again, same approach here for Fulsen.
I'm looking for the pulse bomb. The stick goes out. It's onto the shield of Anhu, but it's on the inside, and there's the EMP. They're just going right through, but Squala on the backside unleashed the whole hog, pushed them all into the cave where Anhu and Iron and Sinker were lying in wait. That was beautiful positioning by Squala.
And as a result, they should be able to claim one tick already on that point. Almost ever so close to it, as we will see Buds now stop off to the Mei. The stall tactics will start to commence, but let's see whether or not the execution coming out of Full Send will be able to secure them the point as well as they look to clean up things here. We'll see that Lucy on fire, contested for now, but second tick rapidly approaching for them. Will manage to find it, but can they get the third one too? The hook might secure the counter. iShiny, they do get it in the end with the Mei coming back from spawn. But
what? I don't know if there was a pause. I don't know if there was an oh, they saw him. How do they see that so fast? How do they see that so fast? That's insane.
well, definitely delivering this time, I guess, as hopefully that will be sorted out as well soon enough. Not sure whether or not Crimzo was the one having issues prior to this moment in time. But now, looking at the fact that they do have the Sound Barrier and the Death Blossom available here for Full Send, Anhu should have the Earth Shatter too. I just can't see how Envision Esport at this point can stall things enough so that they actually get anything done on this final point.
So coming back into it, they do have Jaru, and yeah, with that Doomfist, we'll have to see. I mean, they will be able to get there, and the wall is up, so now they're going to look to try to find a kill on it, but not going to be the case. And there's the Sound Barrier. I mean, I don't know how you find kills with this here, as Bud's already fell. Jaru's on the point, self-destruct coming down. That'll kill off the Doomfist. And now it's just about trying to find the kill on the fire. They do just that. Shiny with the Primal Rage reset is going to allow time for Crimzo to get on the point, and they're still looking for any kind of kills that they can get on the objective as Crimzo is going to get batted down. Progress going to come through, and Buds not fast enough. Secured with 57 seconds left.
At the very least, they did manage to stall things out for quite a while, so Vision Esports will look to have a little bit more success when it comes to their offensive round. And now they will be swapping over sides. Curious to see whether or not their Neko will go for a Sombra of his own, as overall Crimzo can have quite a lot of success, especially when paired up with Jaru's Genji overall.
Curious to see what their dive's going to look like, and I'm also curious to see what Neko is going to look like on Sombra. We, of course, already saw Crimzo's, and we've talked about this matchup a little bit. This is probably, which sounds ridiculous if you know Crimzo, but probably the closest matchup that we have in this particular series between these two teams. Neko is a very solid flex support, at least in my opinion, from what I've seen, having casted him previously, seen him in the competitive environment where he's been playing in tournaments and everything. Neko has consistently, over the past couple of months, been a standout performer on flex support. Particularly, I would say on Zenyatta. I have to be fair, I haven't seen too much of his Sombra, but I would say that this is where I think they really have that opportunity to kind of balance things out, where they can really kind of rely on him to control some of these fights. Now, with Crimzo going over to Moira here, Neko, of course, on the Sombra, we see them swapping sides and swapping heroes as well. Now it's going to be about how they play the Sombra on defense. Does Neko have that same kind of control that we've seen not only from Alarm, but also today Crimzo, that really kind of lend to a fantastic first point hold, which sets up the time bank quite well in your favor by taking, 3-4 minutes off the clock right off the bat.
And I'm curious, this approach coming out of Envision when it comes to using that composition, as they will not favor the tankier lineup overall, looking now to potentially contest that Mega Room now, looking for any targets, pushing them away for now. Their Neko might go from the side, Sinker lying it away as well. Maybe he's targeting out Buds, looking for that Tracer duel. Will be commencing onto that one, as they will see Full Send now look to contest onto the point, but Envision seemingly having the better time so far.
Now Jaru looks like he's trying to get aggressive now onto Anu. They do take them down in this corridor. They're just containing them now. Defense just forced to stick in there, and Iron not able to make it to that Mega, so he's going to lose his mech. And now we'll see Envision with a quick take.
Oh, and iShiny with the body block as well. Just making sure they make the most out of it, and Iron staggered on top. It will be looking pretty good moving on forward here, considering they have 6 minutes 55 seconds in that timer. A lot of ultimates being built up, and now from the side of Full Send, it's gonna have to be down to Squall really to make things happen for his team, get those potential early picks, but we'll see already Buds trying to get a kill started off.
Now as they go forward, Jaru with the blade. They've already lost 2 though, and especially since it's Shiny that has gone down, they don't want to go ahead and continue this fight and just waste any ultimates that they would rather have for the next fight. And we'll see Fire coming back in at about 70%. They want to get that sound barrier probably midway through. Just use Crimzos early to engage with, keep everybody topped up long enough for sound barrier to catch up, and then they can use that to control the momentum, push the momentum forward to finish out the job. 6 minutes remain. Can they do it here?
And considering the fact that Fire is quite far away from his sound barrier, and Dereneko will most likely look to use that EMP pretty early on. Now we'll find quite a few targets. McGravy, though, gets him with the self-destruct in the meantime. Make it a 6v5. However, it's aggressor posture coming from the side of Full Send. Will look to still contest. However, it's going to be Bloods. Pick up another kill onto Anhu, and as Fire gets one himself onto Squala, we'll force out the self-destruct as well as the sound barrier from the defensive side, but overall kill still in favor of Envision as they will look to potentially secure a very fast second point take. But with the rest of Full Send regrouping onto this point, looking to still contest. The blade is gonna come out. Jaru, can he find the kills? Still not too successful so far as the Riptire is gonna come out. But will be the one to go down, and maybe now that the Death Blossom is there too, it's not gonna find the kills. Fire is gonna be on fire as he claims 2 kills of his own. Make that a triple for that bloodthirsty support.
And they're hanging on now. They've used everything, so they gotta get it here, or they're gonna be losing a lot of time that they've already committed now. As they come back into this, they haven't lost anyone. They still have fairly good control. Now it's just about finding these kills, making sure that they take the Mei down in a good amount of time, as well as she's gonna be contesting for some time. Squala now gonna be taken out by Buds, but everybody's still coming back from spawn. They're still hanging on, and they're still looking to contest this for as long as possible. Obviously, Envision does have a lot of control. They're still slowing those respawns down a little bit, but need to make sure that they're taking the kills as well to just maintain that control, maintain their composure in this fight.
They do finally also get those 2 ticks on the point when it comes to those ultimates. They might just have a blade to seal the deal here as Jaru is going to pick up another kill onto Iron. iShiny claims one himself, and now that the blade is coming out, it's still going to be Sinker, answering with a double kill from that pulse bomb. And now we might just see them clean up as Sinker delivers once again with a triple. Make that a quad onto Jaru, but that was really close.
Great job from Sinker to get back into the fight. Now they're going to look to control with Squala holding on to that Junkrat pick. Has, of course, the ability to get these tires up as well after playing the Mei for a little bit there. And we'll be looking for Buds to come through and really have a strong performance in this next fight. If they can engage, hold on to this, and try to find a quick pick, they might be able to get the Death Blossom online. And there's the quick pick that they were looking for. Onto Squalo, that's a massive one.
And McGravy loses his suit as a result, and the self-destruct will find that particular kill. EMP will look to secure and the team fight rather here for Full Send, as it will be still Jaru claiming another one onto Sinker in the end, but forced to regroup. Does mean that overall Full Send delay Envision even further now with 2 minutes and 55 seconds left on their offensive round.
Buds with the Death Blossom charged up now. And every time they jump in, they're pretty good about displaying a significant amount of lethality to try to find that first kill, that first pick, the all-important first kill in a fight. Now hanging on, we do see Anu forcing out the Primal Rage. Dereneko just getting that much closer to the EMP, and they take Buds out by just hacking him and just removing the factor of the Wraith form.
And now iShiny will at the very least return 1 kill, but EMP coming through once more. It will be Full Send still playing very well around that Sombra, cleaning things up once more, looking for a few staggered kills. If available, will not quite find them, but in the end. Once again, buying enough time for the rest of this lineup to charge up those ultimates. Well, at the very least, for the side of Envision, they didn't overcommit with their resources. So if they can get a potential good engage, something like a D-suit onto Iron to make sure Buds has an easier time popping that Death Blossom could be big, as they will just go ahead and speed boost onto the point. McGravy claims 1 kill, but Jaru does go down in the end. No blade available for them. Self-destruct will be used, looking to build enough space, but return sound barrier might be good enough. Now Death Blossom will be used off of it. However, Pulse Bomb claims 1 kill onto Fire Sinker, still being just an absolute monster on that Tracer. And now with this prolonged team fight, we'll see Envision Esports losing a lot of time, as we'll have 1 minute 17 seconds left and a lot of resources lost at that too.
Blade's still ready for Jaru, but they're just not going to be able to commit this. And this second point hold has been insane from Full Send. Could call themselves full hold after this if they want, I guess. But we'll see if Jaru can get it done with the blade. It's still going to be tough. They've had 2 ticks for quite some time now. And remember, they got the first point and they had about 6 minutes or so to just cap this last one. And it's really taken them quite a long time just to get this far.
And I'm curious to see whether or not Buds now on the Junkrat will net them more success, as so far with that EMP coming once again through for this defensive side of Full Send. They will claim another kill onto McGravy, but Jaru dashing through will still have that blade. Doesn't quite use it just yet. Might commit now, as he will get a kill onto Badger. Still looking for more, so Envision might still do it, as Jaru claims a triple kill off of that. And it's ever so close. We will see Anu come back from spawn, but can he stay alive for long? No, it will be Envision still getting the point in the end, and back off of Jaru's big play on that Genji.
Massive blade there. That was one of those ones where your stomach tightens up and you think maybe this isn't the play. You have 30 seconds on the clock. Maybe you come back and have a better opportunity. You know, you already are down a couple of guys, but they're coming back from respawn. Just go for it. Just pull the blade out, see what happens. He did just that, and it worked out in a big way. Luckily, Crimzo was there as well to put out just an extra little bit of pressure, throwing out the damaging orb from Moira. And now they have to attack. They obviously have a pretty significantly lessened time bank than what we would have expected, and certainly of what the opposition is working with 142 to 1 minute respectively. But you know, going in with this fight here, playing the dive into essentially just another dive, but with health pack control coming from Dareneko's Sombra, it's still a very tough fight to take, and it's easy to stumble in this kind of situation where you want to kind of take your time, pace yourself, and then look for that opportunity and then engage. And if you do kind of take too much time, Dareneko might have that EMP to counter you, so you have to be careful about how you play this one out.
But that's why we really have seen this side of Envision really just play super aggressive when it comes to their offensive push, which granted them that first point in that previous round. But we'll see the round start. So far, a different approach. Potentially no fakes them out here, as it will see once again Envision Esports looking to get that high ground control as well as the mega health back, and now looking to push the opposition away. We'll see Anhu looking to retaliate with the rest of his team. And now Squala forced to disengage and will be fired, claiming first blood.
But as they go ahead and just again contain them in this same room, you just go ahead and just filter them all into a confined space, dive right on top of them. Jaru just dashing through, getting some control as Ishiny just holds them there. They can't move through the Winston. And they'll go ahead and allow themselves to have that extra little bit of time to go forth with 38 seconds roughly and try another attack. It took them so long on this point B attacking. I mean, this has to feel like home for them now, but for Full Send, this is their house, man. This is their house. They will not let this go without a fight.
But maybe Envision have them figured out, because Buds once again on that Junkrat this time, not on the Reaper. However, Crimzo dropping pretty low. Will be able to stay alive for now. And iShiny already taking Squall out of the picture, making it a 6v5. EMP is at the ready, but it's going to come out soon enough, as it will be 2 kills in favor of Envision. Buds finds Dareneko there as well, and this might still be the second point going over in favor of Envision, but Sinker still retaliates with a pulse bomb to fire. The blade is going to come out finally gets a kill onto Badger, and as they do get one tick, they will look to get even more if possible. The Primal Rage will look to displace the opposition. Hack might come in once again. Buds gets a kill onto Squall, gets a double kill now with their Echo, and they will potentially get the first tick. No, almost quite there, but Sound Barrier will be used. This might just be what they need, and they will indeed get it in the end.
Just as they were re-engaging, they had Sound Barrier, they had people coming out from Secret up behind the statue, they had, you know, that quick engage, the self-destruct just claimed 2. They had the they had the potential to turn that fight back around, but just weren't able to get back on the point fast enough. iShiny warded off Anhu for quite some time when he had his Primal Rage up that allowed them to get that close. And, you know, looking at that, getting the first point means a lot. Could certainly, you know, help your team feel very comfortable. You know, if you manage to get that first point, all you have to do is make sure that you hold it for a minute 42. That's doable. That's possible. You go to the second point, you get a tick, even more comfortable, because, you know, it's very easy to deny time away in 142, add the other 30 seconds, and, you know, you're looking at a time that's very easily doable to hold out on point B as well. Just make sure that you have control with Sombra and you don't lose to like a very momentum heavy push off of point A. But taking the full cap with only a minute plus the extra 30 seconds that you're allotted after taking point A, I have to say Envision were not looking good to take this map before, but now I would say it's almost done. It's an almost done deal now that Envision was able to sneak that one out right there and get their 4th point.
And we'll see Buds this time around on the Junkrat instead, so we'll see whether or not that will be better off in the end. Sinker, once more on that Widowmaker, will look to have a lot of success getting a few potential picks to start things off, but so far, we'll see an all-out brawl happen and nobody really going down just yet. Iron almost losing his suit, so he does get caught up in that trap, but overall, still, Crimzo rapidly charging that EMP, and Bud's already having the Riptire. He's gonna look for those targets, isn't quite successful. Badger dropping extremely low, but overall, still is nobody going down on either side. But considering the fact that the EMP is there, McGravy's gonna be able to clean up that first kill of the fight. Jar looking for the decent as well as the kill onto Iron. Might get in at the end, but as I say that, Iron, that baby diva form, manages to find one kill onto iShiny, and even though Striker, or rather Sinker, has had quite an easy time lining up those shots, all he gets right now is the D-suit, but is it going to be enough? As we'll see the Coalescence come through, secures the kill onto Fire, and the second one onto Jaro, and we might just see Full Send get the point off of it.
But Crimzo, after he gets out of this fight, they just have to get out alive now. Crimzo with 87% towards EMP. Riptire ready for Buds. You have to basically hold out on 2 fights here because they had that extra bit of time. They've allowed themselves 2 opportunities if they engage quick now. Sinker on the Widow. He was dealt with the last time he pulled this out initially by Jaru on the Genji. Jaru's going to look to do the exact same thing here, and Crimzo will certainly be eyeing Iron on the Diva, trying to take that defense matrix out of play, open up a hole to try to put pressure on those tanks.
Oh, but considering the infra side was there, it doesn't mean that Sombra's not gonna have potential as better or as good of a success off of the EMP, as the Sombra did come through. No kills yet on either side, however, as it will look to get a potential advantage. Crimzo managing to somehow stay alive. Buds now looking for the entire kills, will be unsuccessful as Koala will find that kill in return. Ontek already achieved onto the point, but Jaru still fighting back, gets 1 kill onto Darren Echo, and that might just be what they need as the EMP's gonna come through. The dashes are just going to reset, and it will potentially be Envision Esports holding out an Anubis as the blade is gonna come out, and just like that, Envision, what was looking an unlikely win, turn it around and get the 2-0 win in the end.
Wow, Envision pull it back. Excellent form from them. They're able to make sure that they close out the series for themselves. And this was an excellent way to start out Group B, but that's not it. Cat's out of the bag, boys. Next match coming your way is Savages versus Renegades. You heard it right. Owl MP got picked up by Renegades. We've got Renegades coming your